Hello and welcome to a CBK gaming video. Join us as we discuss and review Champions of Midgard and its expansions, the Dark Mountains and Valhalla. So what is Champions of Midgard and its expansions? It is a competitive board game for 1 to 5 players by Grey Fox Games. It's a worker placement game, which means you take a meeple, you place them in a particular location and enact that location. For example, you may choose to go to the swordsmith, which would give you a swordsman dice. In this game, you have a number of dice representing swordsman, spearman, axeman. Then when you add the expansions, you also add hunters or archers. You also add Valkyrie, berserkers and a leader. You use these dice in combat and in hunting. You place your meeples starting with, I think, 3 for 3 players, 4 for 2 players, and then there's another one that you can purchase. So you can have a maximum at 2 players of 5 meeples. You place them to get resources that will allow you to then go and fight. That may be to cross the ocean in one of the boats available. You may buy your own boat, or you may use a public longship that'll allow you to fight monsters, which will get you glory and fortune of the gods, or favours of the gods.
Provided you pass the sea trial on your way.
Yes, and then you have to roll dice to determine whether you win or not. You will lose men, they will die along the way. With the expansion Valhalla, you have a graveyard or sacrifices, which you can then spend as you accumulate those tokens on either the new dice, the Valkyrie, the berserkers, or legendary items, or to defeat a legendary monster. Overall, this is a great fun game. The troll mechanic. You don't get extra points for the troll, but what you do get, well, at the end of the game, you get basic points and wood. However, you also get to assign blame to another player or other players. That detracts from your point value at the end of the game. It can be quite competitive, can be quite funny to see who can accumulate the most blame, or who you pile most of the blame onto. Fighting the Draugr gets you coin and points. The coins allow you to buy a longship or to buy other necessary resources. They also allow you to pay for certain items along the way. There might be some journeys where you have to pay gold for each dice that you've put on that journey. But it's a game that really is good fun, made even better by its expansions, and that can be rare. There are plenty of games out there that do not rely on their expansions to make them better. Champions of Midgard, the base game, is fun, but it's great fun when you add the expansions. It's got random elements in that there are a number of locations added to the game, the market stalls, that are random, so you have a little bit of difference in the game as you play it. There's various monsters, different colour and sets to collect, so there's a set collection element to the game. They have also thought about the set collection based on colour, so there is blue, red and yellow. But not only that, there are symbols, so that helps any colourblind players be able to distinguish those groups without having to ask others, which we really appreciate.
Yeah.
Having colourblind friends, that makes a difference, and it's nice that it's been thought of. We've got the extra components, so the wooden components, which add to the game's longevity. The dice, nicely made, they're fun.
Yeah.
I do have some issues with this game. The print quality on the cards, they're not very good, and they differ. You can tell the difference between the expansion print and the base game print. They're slightly lighter, the core game is slightly darker. That's just poor quality checking. But overall, highly suggest that this, or recommend this game to you if you enjoy worker placement games. It's got enough difference to be, the replayability of this game is good. What do you think?
You've got the options as you're playing that, I mean, the last few games we've played, I've tried doing it not fighting as much and trying to base it on how many points can I get and build up for the end, so that although I may not have moved up the tracker during the game, at the end of it, I've suddenly got this card that gives me an extra 10, I've got an extra 2 here, and you can play it that way as well. So it's got a nice variety that it suits every game style, I think. You're not constantly having to gather the resources to go and battle if you don't want to do that every round. And you've got enough selection of what you want to go and fight. If you've managed to collect sort of enough warriors in your dice collection that you think you can do a lot of damage, you can pick sort of the harder monsters. Or if you've only got a couple of swordsmen or a couple of spearmen, you can go for a sort of a few of the lesser monsters and still reap the rewards from it. And I think it's really nicely balanced.
It is. It's also important to say the game only lasts for 8 rounds, and that takes 2 players, you're looking at about an hour. 4 players, I don't think we've played this 5-player, so 4 players, I think it took about an hour and 45 minutes, which is a suitable time for an evening game. The artwork is fun, it's enjoyable, it's good to look at. As I say, the colour difference, again, both on the back of the cards and the front of the cards, unforgivable for me. But overall, this is a fun game, and that's what a game should be. Yeah. If you've got your friends around, you can have a laugh with this. It's not spitefully competitive, where some games you can be quite spiteful against each other. This isn't. It's about you achieving the best you can, but with the spiteful element of laying out the blame, giving the blame to certain players. I think
that suits in with the style and the theme of the game. Yeah. There's a troll that lives above the village, and if you don't go and protect the village from it,
it's your fault that it got flattened.
It's your fault that things happened, yeah. So you're the one that goes and be the champion to defeat the troll, and everyone else gets the blame for not stepping up to it. And it's who can get their meeple there first. But you can always take the first player token, because there's an option for that. And it's great rivalry between that, but it's light-hearted. It's, as you said, it's not spiteful.
So, does this belong in your collection? Yes. If you're looking for a worker placement game that's got some fun mechanics, doesn't take itself too seriously, this is an excellent choice. In the UK, you're going to pay between £40 and £50 for the base game. The expansions are between £15 and £20. The neoprene mat is about an extra £20. I believe you can still get some of the Kickstarter exclusives that are on the Grey Fox website. I know that was a bit of a contentious issue on the Kickstarter campaign, because it was advertised as Kickstarter exclusive and then sold on their website. But you know what? I'm glad other people can get hold of those items. I think it makes it a better game having those. It gives it that longevity having the wood and everything else.
Yeah. And also I find that some expansions you feel are clipped on and they don't merge into the base game. Whereas they've thought about this one, and it does, because you can pick up the Hunter dice, which is an expansion with the mountains, but it works really nicely with the hunting option in the base game, because the extra dice you get, a couple of the sides are designed for the hunting. You get bonuses when you go hunting with those dice, and I like that it's brought it into the base game. It's not just clipped it onto the side.
Yeah, it does take a lot of the table. As you can see, this is a relatively large gaming table, and it does stretch across the whole width of the table. The boards, rather than the neoprene mat, are slightly smaller, so don't take up as much room. But overall, go and get it if you want that worker placement game and you want a good competitive game. I don't think there's anything else really to comment about. It's a good game with plenty of options. So all that remains is to say thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. If you have enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing. We really are enjoying building up the community and bringing you more weekly reviews. We've got quite a number of reviews planned. Sometime in the next 4 weeks, I hope, fingers crossed, we will have played enough of Sleeping Gods to bring you a review of that, something we've been really waiting for, and really hyped to play that and get a review done. There is also going to be Aliens. We also have the Tainted Grail expansions, which I cannot wait to play. We had some issues getting that because of delays in the UK. We've had a number, and After the Empire turned up, which is another Grey Fox game. We've got a number of other games that have just all turned up at the same time. I know that the expansion for Folklore, The Fall of the Spire, they've just sent an email, I think, saying that that's getting ready to ship, which we adore the Folklore series of games and cannot wait to play that more. So there's going to be a whole heap of new, fun and interesting games being reviewed on this channel. If you have any ideas, if you have anything you would like to see us review, don't hesitate to drop it into the bottom of the comments. We're really eager to look at some games that other people may be interested in. We've got another couple of series coming. We've just filmed a choir for our first of a Throwback Thursday, which we'll be doing once a month. In the process of reviewing Interceptor Ace for our first in our Wargame Wednesday, which we'll be doing once a month. I've also bought Raid on St. Nazaire for that as well. One of my favourite games when I was younger to play. We're also going to be recording and uploading a 5-Minute Friday once a month, which is where we're going to review party games. The first being a game that our close friends Bear and Jane bought us for Christmas a couple of years ago, which is Dungeon Mayhem, which we all thoroughly enjoy and find hilarious to play. So that's going to be the first 5-minute review, where we'll keep it under 5 minutes and release that on one Friday a month. So if you enjoy all of this and you look forward to seeing more, or got other suggestions, pin them in the bottom of the comments section. Until then, thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.